This video is brought to you by The Vault. Click the link down below to get instant access to the best training program out there. You can learn things like how to jump rope, how to work out at home, how to make your own green juice, or how to run outside if you have no idea where to start. Okay, so click the link down below, justinpatrickofficial.com/vault, and get instant access to start right now today. What I'm going to show you in this video is my daily regimen when it comes to handstand training. And the first thing that I do is warm up my body. And as you can see, I'm doing some jump rope. And what you see right now is all freestyle. All right, so there is no number of sets or number of reps that I count. It's just all sporadic. All right, I just keep going. I keep moving until I feel like my body is ready and warmed up. Do whatever it is that you like to do for cardio in order to warm up your body before attempting any kind of handstand training, because you really need all of your muscles to be loose and warmed up before you attempt to go upside down. And it's pretty hard to do that, you know, when your muscles are stiff or tight. So make sure that you are really warmed up. The best way that I can tell when I'm ready is when I feel the sweat pouring down my forehead. So whether you do rowing or running or treadmill, whatever it is, just make sure you warm up and build up a good sweat. The exercises that I do for handstands consist of two parts. First are static holds, and second is resistance training. So what you see me doing right now is a basic static hold. I just hold the handstand for as long as I can. And what I'm doing is just focusing on my breathing, just making sure everything is just balanced. All right? I'm just monitoring where my weight is shifting. And if you don't know where to start when it comes to doing handstands, make sure you check out my other two videos that I just released recently on this channel, Learning How to Handstand Part 1 and 2. Those two videos will show you the basics on how I perform a handstand, or how I teach my students how to perform a handstand from the very beginning. And after each hold, I just loosen up. So I'm just stretching, doing some dynamic stretching. And it's very important to stretch the wrists, stretch the neck, stretch your quads, stretch your hamstrings, stretch everything, okay? Make sure everything's nice and loose. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to stretch my hamstrings right now, and just leaning from one side to the other. And just, yeah, I don't really like to just pause and do nothing, you know? So instead, if I'm not doing a handstand, or if I'm not in motion, I'm doing some sort of stretch or dynamic stretching, as you can see. I know a lot of people, they like to sit on the floor and stretch, but for me, it's better to get a good stretch when you're standing upright and then you're leaning forward or you're bending over, like as you can see. So I'm letting gravity do all the work for me. And I'm just testing everything out here. So I'm just like, yeah, lifting my feet off the ground, putting all the weight onto my hands. This is a very good exercise to build up your core, and just trying to get the hamstrings nice and loose, because my hamstrings are very tight. And very good flexibility in the hamstrings is key to having a good handstand, because yeah, that flexibility will definitely be an advantage. So right now I'm just sticking one hand on the ground, the other hand straight into the air, trying to make it parallel. All right, these are all good stretches to perform. All right, get the muscles nice and loose, all right, before you attempt your next static handstand. And it's up to you whether you want to do the resistance training first or the static holds first. I like doing the static holds first because it's much easier, and then I just move on to resistance training later, because it's what I do. What I'm going to show you is pretty grueling or taxing on the body. After I do floor handstands, I move on to dumbbell handstands. Now, a lot of people, they try to do parallettes instantly. So you can see those Libert equalizers in the left hand side. I do not recommend going or training with those in the beginning. You want to start off with the lowest amount of bars possible to the ground. And the lowest form are dumbbells, actually. So start by working on dumbbell handstands. So you grab both dumbbells, and you're going to notice that it's much easier to get up into a handstand, and you're going to notice that your wrists are going to be doing a lot of the controlling. After I do 2 dumbbells, I move on to one hand on the floor and one hand on the dumbbell. And my static holds consist of a straddle, and then you can see tucked right now, and then a straight. All right, so that's straddle right now that you can see. So straddle gives you the most balance overall. Straight is very difficult. As you can see, that's the hardest out of all three. Straddle, and then the tucked is kind of in between. So play around. Straddle is going to be probably the easiest. Tucked will be medium, and then straight up, both legs up, will be the hardest, in my opinion, because it's like just like hoisting a giant ladder up into the sky. All right, it requires a lot of core strength to hold it. All right, so as you can see, one dumbbell on the ground, one hand on the floor. Okay, and I'm just putting all my weight onto the hand that's on the floor. So the hand that's holding the dumbbell isn't going to be doing much, it's just assisting. Okay, so next I'm going to move on to the medium parallettes. These parallettes that you see right now are much better instead of those yellow ones, because as you can see, they're a lot lower to the ground. So you don't have to worry about falling and just destroying your body, you know, by accident, which I did many years ago. What happened was I trained with those Liebert equalizers, and then I lost my balance and I fell to the ground, and I ruined my arm, and I couldn't do any handstands for like 6 months. So be very careful. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing one hand on the floor, one hand on the parallette. Okay, same thing, straddle, and I'm just controlling my balance on both sides. And as you can see, I'm shifting my hips, and this is something that I've been playing around with recently, because it can get boring when you're up holding a handstand. So I'm just shifting my hips here, playing around as I do it. So the hand that's holding the parallette, it's just assisting. It's not really putting all the weight on there. So eventually you want to push your hand away from the parallette as much as possible. So I would say a good practice would be like 90% of the weight should be on the hand that's on the floor, and then 10% is the hand that's holding on to the parallette. As you can see right now, I'm just really pushing that hand that's holding the parallette away from me. Okay, trying to make it as straight as possible. And just focus on that hand that's on the floor. That's the hand that's doing all the work. All right, so just hold it as much as you can. Okay, so here we are doing some resistance training now. So I've got a box that I put my feet up on. And what I'm doing is I'm holding the dumbbells and I'm just doing some handstand push-ups. As you can see, that's in a tucked position. And right now we're just trying to build shoulder strength. Okay, doing all forms of or all sorts of handstand push-ups will definitely help out with your core and your strength and the ability to hold a handstand for long periods of time. So you really need to work on, handstand push-ups. So here what I'm doing is just an advanced version. So one leg is off the box, one leg is on the box, and just keep going until I'm tired. So in this case, probably 5 on each side, and then just keep switching. So make sure that you tap the ground with the top of your head. Make sure you go all the way down. And this is way harder than any kind of push-up that you've done before. What you see right now, I'm just going forwards and back, backwards, forwards, and back with the parallettes. Okay, I'm just shifting my weight as far forwards and then far backwards as possible. Okay, getting that good stretch of the shoulders, as you can see. Okay, so this is kind of like a cardio workout. All right, just keep going. You're not gonna feel a lot except onto your shoulders. All right, so as far forward as possible, far forward, back. It really develops the shoulders, this exercise. Because later on you want to do like planche or handstands with this thing. So you have to start with just holding it with the feet on the ground. Same thing, handstand push-ups. Okay, feet straddled. I'm trying to go as low as possible. And as you can see, like where my head is landing is kind of like where the floor would be if my hands were on the floor. Okay, you can go deeper if you like, but I try to go for right angles, so 90-degree angles here for my shoulders to get involved. And anything beyond 90 degrees, and then your triceps will get involved. And now I'm doing some really difficult elbow stands. just tuck your elbow into your gut and lift your legs up. If you can't lift your legs up, just put your legs on the ground. And later on, once you build up your core strength, then lift one shoe up, and then eventually both shoes can come up, right? But this requires just a lot of patience, just a lot of practice, and make sure you don't eat anything, because you're gonna feel it once you stab your elbow into your gut. It's not a pleasant feeling, but this will definitely work out your core on each side. Oh yeah, oh, I can feel that pain already. Next, both parallettes side by side, and just my hands facing outwards, palms facing outwards, and I'm just trying to do a kind of like a reverse push-up, and just developing the strength in the front shoulder muscles right here. Okay, so make sure you work both sides. Okay, so the reverse grip and normal grip. Just keep doing it until you get tired. Do as many reps as you like, and yeah, make sure your legs are straddled and your head is bowing down. Okay, so this is normal grip, head facing down. Again, these are a lot harder than normal push-ups. Okay, so if you can't do more than 10, don't worry, you're not alone. All right, this requires a lot more strength, a lot more control, and yeah, persistence is key because these are very painful. Okay, so now I'm doing just straddle to handstands. Okay, so this will require a lot of practice and just holding it again. So this is like a combination of resistance training and static holds now. All right, so boom, building up. If you can't do this, just start with the frog stand. All right, I demonstrated the frog stand in the other handstand tutorials that I have. Okay, and now I'm doing some swings. Okay, so these are just like me with my legs tucked, and I'm just swinging forwards and back. So as you saw earlier, I was swinging forwards and back with my feet on the ground, but now my feet are up in the air and just letting my arms do all the work, do all the heavy lifting. So if you can't do a lot of these, don't worry, because this requires a lot of core strength, a lot of shoulders. Ugh, okay, so just swing as much as you can. Okay, so half of it's momentum, half of it is core strength and your shoulders. So here's like wide stance. Okay, so this is straddle legs, straddle in the back, straddle in front. So this is kind of like planche, it's kind of like a L sit. All right, just try to getting those legs into a V shape. All right, so it's a lot harder to do this. Okay, so if you can't do that, see what I'm doing right now, just legs on the ground instead. And then to get that superset, that final squeeze of juice, just walk it out. All right, so that's a handstand push-up, and then walking to the front, and then finish with a dip. Okay, yeah, you just want to get as much of that last juice remaining out of you. So this is the point where I'm just almost done. All right, I'm just exhausted. Superset is doing its work. Okay, next is, yep, as you can see. Don't even attempt this. This will take like several months in order to do this kind of move. I wouldn't worry. So this is all that pays off. All that hard work pays off. Okay, now here's an exercise that I like to finish off. Okay, so these are handstand push-ups using the wall. Okay, 1 foot on the wall, but as you can see, it's very tiny little dips down. Okay, so I like to start with 3 versions. First is the easy version, and then medium, and then hard. This is the easy version, like tiny little dips. So I'm not really going all the way down, as you can see, just very tiny. Okay, just warming up. So later on, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. Okay, so this is medium. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit lower to the ground. So I'm shifting my feet. Okay, switching feet. Ugh. This is going to be grueling for you. Okay, you're going to feel it on every part of your body. Okay, if you can't do this, then try to put both feet against the wall to support you. All right, this is kind of advanced with one leg out. And this is the final version. This is the hardest version, all the way down. And just boom. I use that leg that's in the air to kick up because this move is just so hard. You know, it requires so much power and strength to pull off. So if you can't do it at the first go, don't worry. Just try to kick it up as hard as you can. And then that's me gassing out. All right. So if you gas out, don't worry. Just take a breather. All right. As long as you just tried your hardest. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, hit the bell, bing. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.